Hi and welcome back to the Bolt and Hammer YouTube channel. Today is the third episode in my series discussing the various factions available for playing in Warhammer 40k. Today I'll be discussing the Armies of Chaos, focusing on the armies playable in the beginner-friendly Combat Patrol playstyle. The Forces of Chaos are mainly made up of Space Marines that turned traitor in the 31st millennium, as well as Chaos Demons. They all serve various Chaos gods. Khorne, representing war, Tzeentch, representing change, intrigue, and sorcery, Nurgle, representing decay, and Slaanesh, representing excess. Let's get started with Chaos Space Marines. Chaos Space Marines are a bit generic in the same way that Ultramarines are. Many of the other Chaos armies can use at least some of their units. 10,000 years ago, they were under the command of Horus, who led a heretical rebellion against the Emperor of Mankind after Horus fell to the influence of the Chaos Gods. They call themselves the Black Legion in memory of Horus's defeat and death at the end of that rebellion, though most players just call them Chaos Space Marines. They are currently led by one of Horus's top captains, Abaddon the Despoiler. They are not pledged to a single Chaos God like some of the other armies that we'll look at, but rather to the lot of them. In the Combat Patrol game, they have a few quick melee-focused units, but aren't lacking in range damage either. They have a number of rules and abilities that can improve their damage output, including by praying to the Chaos Gods for their blessings. All this damage and speed comes at a cost of defense. They are squishier than their Ultramarine counterparts. The Death Guard are Chaos Space Marines pledged to Nurgle, the Chaos God of decay and pestilence. They spread disease and decay as they maraud across the galaxy, breaking down not only their opponents' immune systems, but their vehicles and technology as well. In the Combat Patrol game, they spread the plague to any opponent foolish enough to get too close, weakening their defense stats. They also get boosts to their own defense and can even reanimate some of their dead poxwalkers like zombies. They are somewhat balanced between ranged and melee, but their boosted defense comes at the cost of being rather slow. The Thousand Sons are Chaos Space Marines pledged to Tzeentch, the Chaos God of change, intrigue, and sorcery. They have a strong Egyptian theming, which I quite like actually. In the Combat Patrol game, their abilities tend to focus on disrupting the opponent by doing things like changing the results of some dice rolls or moving out of the way of ranged attacks. They tend to do more of their damage at range with either psychic attacks or guns, but are no slouches in melee either. The World Eaters are Chaos Space Marines pledged to Khorne, the Chaos God of War. They are consumed with bloodlust and attack mercilessly across the galaxy. Some of their war cries are the source of some of 40k's most memorable memes.
Blood for the blood god. Skulls for the skull throne.
They are a melee first, last, and always army. In the Combat Patrol game, their rules and abilities focus on boosting melee damage. Their ranged attacks are all short-range pistols, only a few of which are actually threatening. Along with the Death Guard, their Combat Patrol is very much a horde army with 31 individual models, compared to 26 for the standard Chaos Space Marines, and only 11 for the Ultramarines Combat Patrol. As you can probably guess by now, this means that their individual models are not high on defense. Chaos Demons are horrors from the warp that can cross over into normal space and wreak havoc on mortals. They are technically one army made up of Chaos Demons pledged to each of the 4 Chaos Gods, but I think most players tend to pick a set of demons pledged to a single god for thematic styling reasons. Khorne is the only Chaos God with its own Combat Patrol at the time of recording. Like the World Eaters, they are a melee-focused horde army, but with an added emphasis on speed at the cost of even weaker defense. As they advance up the board, they spread the Shadow of Chaos across the terrain, which allows them to heal and reanimate their own units while dealing damage to their opponent's army. Lastly, I wanted to mention the Emperor's Children, which are pledged to Slaanesh, the Chaos God of excess. They are well represented in the lore of 40k, but are not a playable army at time of recording, as there is only a single Noise Marine unit for sale. I'm only mentioning them here for two reasons. One, their Noise Marines are awesome. And two, there are strong rumors that they could get a wider release of models over the next year or two, possibly including a combat patrol. That's it for this video. Please let me know what your favorite Chaos Space Marine chapter is in the comments below, and also be sure to hit like and subscribe. Thanks, and see you next time on the Bolt and Hammer YouTube channel.